Hi again. In this video, I want to make a second part of the previous online sharing of thoughts with regards to the reincarnation in the simulation theory. And I wanted to add that reincarnation in the simulation theory is not only non-reincarnation as in the religious term, but access to archived past simulations data points, but it is also access to, in terms of time and space, data that has not already happened for us but has happened in the one ultimate singularity. So data such as prophecies that has we think are prophecies but has already happened, and it happened in a future point that is archived. And I wanted to elaborate on that because in the previous video I implied that reincarnation is not you having past lives which are strictly unique yours, and you're just being reborn and remembering what you did in your past life. I already discussed in my previous video that this is not what I think is happening. You die, it is just your simulation thread that is ending, and your data is being archived. Data point is available to the ground simulator in the ground simulation as data that has been stored. It has been generated, and it's there. It's not deleted. And when you are supposedly coming back for another thread, another run, another play in the simulation, you're not accessing your own archive, something that you've put on a hard drive or on a compact disk and zip file archived, and then you come back and you open your briefcase with old memories to suddenly remember something. No, it's anybody's thread, mine, yours, your neighbors, and your friends or your enemies or whoever. Everybody's thread is having random access to other archived data points of what has already happened or what is about to happen. And why what is about to happen as well? Because what is about to happen, it is about to happen from the perspective of time and space, where you have stretched time and you have past and present and future, and some things have not happened from this point of view, but from the point of view of singularity, everything has already happened. This entire simulation is already complete. It had a start and it had a development, it had an end, finished, and then it restarted. And it's a constant cycle of never ending, always repeating, different scenarios, different possibilities. Something slightly changes, that is a branch of the simulation. It never ends. It expands out and then collapses back on itself and recycles. We've discussed this in my other videos, and in that term, everything has already happened. So let's say science fiction authors, they don't say, oh, I have a feeling that in my past life I've seen this futuristic world with cars flying and robots serving you coffee on a pool on a distant galactic planet. Or they don't say, I envision virtual realities and greedy corporations. I come from a past where there is a future actually, or I come from a future where there are greedy corporations subjecting people to slavery through technology, with governments which are oppressing people or not serving them. So nobody's saying, I lived through that and I come from the future. Actually, some people do say that. And it is akin and pretty much the same as if saying, oh, I lived that in my past life and I come now here in this new life and I remember my past life, which I'm arguing is not what is happening. It's, again, just a data point which we have access to through hashtags, for example. Say in your life, you are experiencing in this simulation something that has an anchor or has been hashtagged with a common anchor or fragment which corresponds to a very similar parallel simulation thread where this or something similar has happened. very close to a déjà vu, where you would say, oh, I think this has happened already, I've seen it before. It is a glimpse into a parallel simulation in a parallel universe in a data point. So everything that we do is generating data, and that data is once generated always there. And since every data point has already been generated in simultaneously for all the possible simulations that are happening at once, but we experience as if something has not already happened and it will happen in the future. No, it already happened in one of the possible simulation branch outs and a parallel universe if you want, but maybe not a parallel universe, just parallel simulation sitting right next to your thread. And you know that what you have is access to these points. You can up and down or back and forth see into the past and future, or parallel to the sideways. You have access to that data because it's there, and because there are similarities in your nervous system or in your brain structure, your DNA, which allow for these data points to be corresponding to a data point which you are currently having in this awakened thread. And currently having it in this awakened thread, by virtue of having similarities with another similar parallel thread of a simulation or parallel universe or whatever have you, you have access to that because they're similar, and the patterns match, and you can say, I lived through that already, or I predict this will happen. And it's not about reincarnation, and it's not about fortune telling or seeing into the future. It's pretty much having random, maybe glitched glimpses and access to other parts of the simulation in this multi-thread simulation. And this is something I felt I didn't have enough time in my previous video to elaborate, and I think I'll link, once possible, the other video into the description of this one, but I don't think I currently have this capability on YouTube right now. So this is what I wanted to share, and I think if I remember something else, I could make a third part, or if there are comments that would like to discuss this further, I'm open to also open another chapter of discussion about it. It's more or less that we don't die and get reborn and have random access to something that has happened in the past of our own egoistically put life, but it is just one big simulation, and every thread believes it's an individual, very unique life. And in a way it is, because we have different branched out circumstances all the time. It is, every thread is unique, but it's not unique and separate from the others. So whatever a 17th century painter has lived, or a 5th century potter has lived, it's already recorded in the data. And depending on the quality of the data that they have, it has different weights, different points that added weight, and we can have access to that. All of a sudden something happens in your life, you break a pot, and a hashtag is thrown out, and you have, oh, a déjà vu, I thought I've broken a pot before, and it's something that happened to a potter in 5th century maybe. And it is this glitchy glimpse into something that's already recorded. Or you wake up one morning, you catch your coffee, you're all sleepy, you open the window and you think you see flying cars and satellites and drones, and you blink twice and you see there is nothing like that in there. But maybe actually, instead of you thinking, oh, am I going crazy, or my mind is playing tricks on me, what just happened, and you forget about it, maybe you think to yourself, oh, come on, I just had a glimpse into a parallel simulation thread, because the laws of the program code are currently glitching here and there and giving me access to something I'm not supposed to have access to, because it hasn't supposedly happened yet in a preconceived illusion of time, where only that has happened in the past is something you can look at, and what has happened in the future is not something you can look at. That's a limitation. That's more or less artificial if we subscribe to the theory that there is no time and space and everything is just one big thing that is singularity, and the illusion of time and space are keeping us from going mad. maybe, but still, it is data that is there, and you are supposed to not dismiss having access to it as something that is totally out of the normal. As long as you have as some people have the preconception and belief that they have reincarnated from another past life, absolutely the same is possible and perceivable and admissible for having been coming from the future, if you will. And that's the elaboration I wanted to make. So bye for now. Thanks for watching.